you are that. You are capable. You are gifted, and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be you. The world awaits to receive you.
Popular today. Bitch, I'm back. I'm popular today.
Y'all know I ain't got no behavior. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, we're doing it again, and we're coming to you with a part two to Tasha K. Actually, let's say Cardi B versus Tasha K court case. We did go over part one. It was pretty long and drawn out and all of the above. But I think it's very important for us to go through this just because there's been so much speculations. Everybody got their opinion about who said what and what did what. So we're still in the beginning. We're actually in October. We're in October 2019. And this is a motion hearing that we're continuing to go over. Now, in this motion, this is actually the motion from Tasha K back to Cardi B in regards to her response to the actual lawsuit. So we do know some of the highlights was basically Tasha K was saying that defamation was done on Cardi B part allegedly because she called Tasha K a liar. Now, as you see, we went back and forth of what Miss Matz, this is Cardi B's lawyer. Look, the lightning starting to come down. Oh my God. The last time I went to go live, the first time, I told you the whole power went out. And then I went live. So now I'm just going live and here you see lightning. Is the voodoo that somebody do. But we're going to put the covering of God over here. We hope that nothing goes down. If it does, y'all already know what's happening. Okay. And I'm going to go live on another day. But I just looked and I said, oh, shoot. Okay. So anyway, we know that Miss Matz, which is Tasha, well, Cardi B lawyer, was actually trying to counterclaim the actual filing. A lot of people talked about actually Mrs. Olga form of lawyering and basically said that she took Tasha K's money. Now we're going to see how she took Tasha K's money. Now we know, or what I tell you guys, me working along lawyers, talking to lawyers, getting to know lawyers, some of them are not totally honest. And I'm not going to say a lawyer told me, oh, yeah, this is what I do, da, da, da. But I watch certain things. And sometimes people make filings that are frivolous, filings that don't even mean anything. And every filing that a person files in court, guess who got to pay for it? Yeah. So we're gonna get to it. What was the next one? It was the lie. Also, Tasha K tried to bring up the fact that Mr. What's his name? Hold on. Skills. Hold on one second. Let me go back to his name. You know I got it up. Let me just pull up Mr. Hold on. We had pulled up his video and everything. They were alleging that he had threatened Tasha K. And Tasha K felt threatened because this gentleman was allegedly part of Mrs. Cardi B alleged ex gang. And what's his name? It start with an S. If y'all know his name, put it in the chat. Y'all know I'm OCD. I'm gonna go back and try to figure it out. Going back to the paper. Y'all know I already got it up. No, I won't be reading all of it, but I will be reading some of it. I have my auto reader ready. Schemo. That's his name, Mr. Screamo. Okay. So allegedly, that was the second counterclaim for threatening her. And we're trying to see what's the end result. We do know the end result, but we want to see why. A lot of the things that Miss Matz was saying, actually, the judge was going back and forth with her. That's why I was a little confused of who was what and what was going on because it was only dialogue between Miss Matz, Cardi B lawyer, and actually the judge. Now, as I told you guys, it don't matter what part of the court case it is, you can't say I object, okay? And that's my favorite part of the whole case. So when I don't hear I object, I feel some type of way. I feel like somebody's not playing in the game because this is a game of court, okay? And both sides need to be in it, paying attention. So, Miss, what's her
The
name?
court. I'm sorry. And what is your name, ma'am? MS Ismailova. The court. The
MS,
court. I'm sorry.
Miss Ismaila, Miss Lover, Miss Ismaila. That is who they're going to be referring to as being Olga, okay? Her name is not Olga in the paper, but this is Olga, okay? So we're going to get to it. I think those were the two highlights. The two highlights. And also the fact that Ms. Tasha K. Lawyer did not write the proceedings up. So she could not really get remedy because of the fact of the way she wrote it up. She didn't even write details allegedly of who said what specifically, what was the dates, how did it cause a problem, and what was the relief. Okay, guys, if you got a lawyer filing papers for you, you want to hear those three elements. If you don't hear those three elements, they're not filing the paperwork right. Okay, so let's get it started. We're actually on page 34. I'm gonna put myself on the screen so it could be a little entertaining. You can see my beautiful self. Y'all see the background, right? We in the court. We in the court. Okay, we're gonna bring it back to life. To the ones who wants to hear the court case, thank you for the ones who tuned in last time. We appreciate you. You know, we still building up the page. Also, shout out to Rumble, BitChute, YouTube. Y'all doing your thing, and I appreciate your support. I'm just gonna be real. A lot of the reasons I'm reading this so y'all can just show y'all my commercial. Let me stop. Let's get it. Y'all know I'm being dead serious, right?
The court. I'm sorry. And what is your name, ma'am? MS Ismailova. Olga Ismailova. The court. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
So remember, the court is actually the judge, okay?
The court. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead. MS Ismailova. So I'm going to address the standard of review first because I think it determines the lens with which we look at plaintiffs' arguments. And while I agree that Twombly and Ashcroft do set the standard federally, the Davida, Inc. v. Nephrology Associates states that while some courts have adopted a stringent approach and required defamatory remarks to be stated verbatim in the complaint, in the 11th Circuit the test remains whether the allegations give the defendant fair notice of the plaintiff's claim and the ground upon which it rests. It said further in that case, the 11th Circuit explained that Rule 8 does not require that a plaintiff specifically plead every element of a cause of action.
All right. Helga came in swinging. Olga, she came in swinging. Basically, what she said is, look, according to this case law, we don't have to present specifically what the actual complaint is or specifically what the person said, according to this case law. Okay? And this is explained by Rule 8, does not require the plaintiff specifically plead every element of the cause of action. All right, Helga, come and swing because you've been quiet all this time. I like it.
And going off of that, to make a claim for slander per SE, we are alleging that she referenced the trade, profession, business of our client, and that the allegations were to my client's general character or ability to do the work in her trade. The court.
Okay, now y'all remember that. The judge brought it up where basically if a lawyer was called a liar, that will actually put liability on him. Not the fact that he will not be able to practice in court, but that will hurt him markedly with his marketing. And that's the same thing that she's saying here, okay? Go ahead, Olga. Point number 2. She hit it right. She said, I'm coming in hot. I've been quiet. Okay, Olga, let's go.
And going off of that, to make a claim for slander per SE, we are alleging that she referenced the trade, profession, business of our client, and that the allegations were to my client's general character or ability to do the work in her trade. The court. I've got your complaint. Your counterclaim here. Go to the do you have a copy? MS Ismailova, I do. The court. Go to the paragraphs in the complaint that you think support your argument that the allegations against the plaintiff are not specific as to your defendant but are in general. MS Ismailova, yes, sir. I would like to start with paragraph 211. The court. All right. Let me catch up with you. MS Ismailova, it's on page 26 before I start with that. Actually, the beginning of the counterclaim, the beginning paragraphs lay out my client's profession, what she does, all of her social media, how she makes her money. The court. I've seen all that. MS Ismailova, in paragraph 211 we allege that in multiple videos, in her Instagram live videos, multiple, not just one, the plaintiff began to publicly defame my client by referring to her as, this blogger lady. She's specifically talking about her. She stated that my client makes up fake stories, period. The court. Well, let's back up a little bit. Why do you include in the complaint this blogger lady? I mean, what's defaming about that? MS Ismailova, because my client puts herself out there as a, celebrity blogger. The court. Okay. So she's a lady, right?
Yeah.
MS Ismailova. Yes, Your Honor. The court. And she blogs? MS Ismailova. Yes, sir. The court. This blogger lady. So, what inherently is that might be akin, I suppose, to referring to someone as little, like little this or little that, but as far as the defaming, I don't get it. MS Ismailova, it was in the context of that.
So basically, the judge is saying, okay, now the way you wrote it up is not really saying completely that this is a defamatory. The statement that she highlighted in her complaint is not really saying that it was defamatory, because the judge said, okay, that rule is right. Now show me in your complaint where you generally put this information there, the defaming statement. Okay. And now this is her and the judge going back and forth.
MS Ismailova, it was in the context of after on paragraph 207. If you go back to that, it says on September 19, 2018, my client published this video interview with this other person, Ms. Jones, and then right after that was published, first the plaintiff reached out to my client privately, in a private message on their social media accounts that was not published to the public. But then after they were not able to, after they stopped communication privately, that's when the allegation is that's when the plaintiff began to post videos on her social media accounts which have millions and millions of followers. The reason why it's important, this particular matter, is because it happened so close to the actual posting of the interview. The court, what you're giving me is a temporal connection, but I'm talking about the words themselves. Is it your contention? Is it the defendant's contention that calling the defendant this blogger lady is inherently defaming? MS Ismailova, just that one statement, if it was just by itself, no, that would not be my contention. But taking all of the things that the plaintiff has said, in the multiple videos that she has posted, it's clear that she's talking about my client.
Okay, right there, the judge is trying to determine, okay, if you're saying that she said defamatory statements about your client, what are the particular statements, as I just said? And the statement that she put up was not defamatory. And now Ms. Olga is trying to say, hey, it is, because she's referring to my client and she made multiple videos. She's not showing specifically the videos and exactly what she said. And that is where the defect of the filing comes in. Okay, does that make sense? She's trying. She know a little bit of law, but it's a defect in the filing, and the court is trying to bring that to her attention.
The court. Well, okay. I'm assuming that she's talking about your client, but if the plaintiff goes on an interview and calls your client a blogger lady, those words themselves don't defame your client in any way, do they? MS Ismailova, no, just those, what we read.
Oh, sorry.
MS Ismailova, no, just those words alone, that's not what we read. The court, in fact, I would say they don't defame her at all. MS Ismailova, no. The court, so that's not a source of defamation.
So basically, Helga told the court, well, yeah, that's not defaming. Okay. And the court said, well, so that's not a source of defaming. So let's skip over to make up fake stories part and go to harass Cardi B's friends. Now let's listen to what this says.
The court, so that's not a source of defamation. So let's skip over the make up fake stories part and go to harass Cardi B's friends. If she, the plaintiff, says that your client harasses her friends, would that constitute libel per se given she's talking about the plaintiff is talking about her friends and not that the defendant harasses people all over or in general? MS Ismailova, and I probably could have put more facts in here, but it's on a video, which we do have.
So like she said, she admitted, she said, and I probably could have put more facts in here, but all it's on a video, which we have. That's a problem, okay? That's where the issue comes in.
MS Ismailova, and I probably could have put more facts in here, but it's on a video, which we do have. Basically, she's stating that in an attempt to get information about this, more information about the plaintiff and about this whole situation, the plaintiff began to harass my client began to harass the plaintiff's friends, stalking plaintiff.
What?
And making up the fake stories. That was a general statement that she said. I never do qualify that as far as being in regards to plaintiff only, which is an issue, which is a point that the plaintiff did address. As far as it being a specific instance, that's not what we're alleging.
Wait a minute. I got to read that again because that voice sounded crazy, and it's either the voice sound crazy or Miss Olga said something that didn't make no sense. And let's read this again. And I probably could have put more facts in here, but all. Now, this is a court reporter, so she may have missed some stuff, I guess. It's on the video, which we do have. Basically, she stated that the attempt to get information about this, more information about the plaintiff and about the whole situation, the plaintiff began to harass, my client began to harass the plaintiff's friends, stalking plaintiff. Okay, so she's saying that her client Tasha K started stalking her friends and making up fake stories that were generally statements that she said. I never do qualify that as far as being in regards to plaintiff only, which is a point that the plaintiff did address. Baby, that didn't even make no sense. And that's what they said. You heard the AI read it, then I reread it. I said, wait a minute. What the hell are you talking about? Olga? What is going on here? Okay, first you admit that you could have put more facts in, and then you went in a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. But we just gonna move forward because AI couldn't understand it and I couldn't understand it my damn self.
As far as it being a specific instance, that's not what we're alleging. That's not the court. Well, is that the only two things that I can see in this paragraph that might be general would be make up fake stories, which doesn't seem to be qualified, and many other lies, which I don't know what that means.
So basically, the judge is highlighting some of the things that she said. She said, okay, you said fake stories, but it's nothing specific. If Cardi B would have said, well, she made up a fake story about me having this, that, and the third, and that is not the truth, she's a liar. Now, that could have been taken into as being specifically related to this and what Tasha K said. This is what the judge is trying to get out of her. Also, she went into saying about and many other lies. It's like, what other lies? You can't talk general like this in court, pretty much. Now, as a lawyer, she knows this. It don't matter what court you're in. You got to put detail. That's probably why I'm so detailed. Because I'll be like, point 1, 2, 3, because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this. They're like, oh, Lord, just stop. I'll be like, but I'm just giving you details. And that's how it's supposed to work. That's what. Now you got the court, which is the judge going back and forth with Olga.
Would be make up fake stories, which doesn't seem to be qualified, and many other lies, which I don't know what that means. But all the rest of it deals with Cardi B, right? MS Ismailova, it does those, yes, those things do. The court, and so following Ms. Matz's argument, can that be a source of libel per se if the plaintiff is talking about what the defendant allegedly did relative to the plaintiff? Can that be libel per se? MS Ismailova, I believe that it can, and the case law. Well, first off, I would like to point out that the cases that the plaintiff cited, most of them are not in the same procedural posture as this case. I believe that she cited the case of Lucas v. Crenshaw, and that was actually on appeal for a motion for summary judgment, So the standard of review in a lot of these discussions is different than the standard of review we have currently in this case.
All right, so let's pause. Okay, Olga came out. Bow. She said, wait a minute. Let me just let you know something, Judge. The cases that she was bringing up wasn't even in the standards of the same court, meaning it wasn't in regards to a defamation case. It wasn't in regards to a civil case. It was actually in regards to a summary judgment related to something else. And if you read the whole context of it, it may not be able to apply to this case. Now, that's another thing. What lawyers would do would pull one or two sentences out of a case and put it up there and hope to hell that the judge don't know the whole case. Because if you don't know the whole case, it may slide through. Judges have to be very, very careful about this because they end up changing precedents of case. And this is what Miss Olga brung up. Go ahead, girl. A first-year law student don't know that. Tell them. Say, don't play with me.
I believe that she cited the case of Lucas v. Crenshaw, and that was actually on appeal for a motion for summary judgment. So the standard of review in a lot of these discussions is different than the standard of review we have currently in this case.
Makes sense.
And so there does need to be more additional facts. And, the discovery, I guess, period is over by the time that these discussions are being had by the court. However, in Milkovich v. Lorraine Journal, the U.S. Supreme Court did state that you cannot just, say that something is just your opinion or hide behind those words to still go on and defame someone in regards to their profession.
Let's stop. Okay, bloggers, this is to you. Listen out. Did you hear? This is the court case that says you cannot just, say that something is just your opinion, allegedly. Allegedly may not save you all the time, or hide behind the words to still go on to defame someone in regards to their profession. Okay, so you got to be careful. Now, if you're going to bring something up, you better have a little bit of facts. Like, well, according to this, what they said on this, allegedly, what I be doing. See, now y'all see why I haven't been getting in trouble on YouTube. Because I've been bringing, when I come live with y'all, I bring the facts.
However, in Milkovich v. Lorraine Journal, the U.S. Supreme Court did state that you can go on and defame someone in regards to their profession.
You just can't do
The
it.
Court, well, look, I agree with you on this. I agree with you that if it can be proven that the plaintiff was saying that the defendant makes up stuff all the time in a general context, then that would establish libel per se if proven. But Matz's argument is that your allegations go to the plaintiff specifically, not in general. So I guess my point, and I understand what you said about the different procedural locations that these cases may have found themselves in. But do you agree that the allegations to support a libel per se have to be general as to the defendant's general character as opposed to any dispute or the transaction between the defendant and the plaintiff? MS.
So basically what he's saying is, do you agree that basically to be considered libel is that one of the factors is that the plaintiff is going to just come out and say something, but not to respond to a transaction, what they say, or issue or disputes. That's one of the factors to actually govern libel in the courts of Georgia. Okay.
Ismailova, I agree that typically the court. Okay.
They stopped this. They like, she said, wait. Ismailova said, I agree that typically, and the court said, okay, shut up. That was rude.
Ismailova, I agree that typically the court. Okay. Let me ask it more specifically. Do you agree with this, that if the plaintiff says she's lying about me and she lies about me all the time, that's not actionable versus if she said the defendant lies in all her stories, she lies about everything she writes? Do you see those as two different kinds of cases? MS Ismailova, yes. The first one being more specific and more arguable that it's about one specific instance. However, I believe that, based on some of the law that I've read, there could be a way to have a slander per se claim even if it's in regards to specific instances if it directly attacks and, specifically affects the person's trade or business.
Come on, bring it.
Specifically for my client. Her veracity is one of the most important things that she has as far as being a, reporter or blogger. So if someone states that, especially someone of plaintiff's stature with who has millions and millions of followers, she's an internationally known celebrity, her statements about my client will affect my client detrimentally more than like if I were to say that about my client. The
Okay.
court, is the defendant asking for special damages here? Ms. Ismailova, no. The court, so the only damages she's asking for are general damages? Ms. Ismailova, general. The court, general and punitive? Ms. Ismailova, and punitive, yes, Your Honor. The court.
So she she asked for general and punitive damages. Now the judge is hearing a little Olga side. She like, listen, it doesn't always have to be not related to a specific incident. She knows that she's talking about my specific client, and because of her statute and her actual platform, and her saying that she is creating a type of liability and defamation on Tasha K. Now the judge asks what type of relief you want, general or punitive. Okay, there's difference, but there can also be special damages. Special damages would require some type of payment in this, that, and the third. Now, I think she should have went for special damages because she still started counting all them views she was losing and subscribers and sponsors deals. Because as the court went on, she could have proved more of that as time went on because it was actually occurring. But let's just listen.
Ms. Ismailova, and punitive, yes, Your Honor. The court, okay. So it is purely a libel per se claim under Ms. Matz has talked about paragraph 2 of the libel statute, right? Talking more just about the course of defamation claims and not the other claims, but she's only the only standard of awarding damages to her, if the jury were to find that she had been defamed, are going to be enlightened conscience damages. Do you agree with that? Ms. Ismailova, I do agree with that.
So meaning that it's not going to be really money damages if they do find Cardi B liable for that. She said, do you understand based on your filing? You didn't file for no money.
Ms. Ismailova, I do agree with that. And OCGA May 4th, 51 is the, I guess, subsection that we are proceeding under, which is they're making charges against. Another in reference to trade, office or profession. If that's the claim that you're putting forward, Georgia law does not require, damages inferred, and malice is also inferred pursuant to OCGA May 5th, 51. In regards to the punitive damages section, I did want to address that OCGA December 5th, 51. 1, which is the punitive damages section under Georgia law, does state that whoever must plead with specificity or plead in each count of the complaint for any action that they believe they would be entitled to punitive damages and then also plead punitive damages separately as a separate account. So that's the reason why our counterclaim has a separate punitive damages section. The court, so looking back at your complaint, look, if you would, to paragraph 213. What in paragraph 213 is actionable for defamation in your opinion? Ms. Ismailova, paragraph 213 more relates to the assault claims. The court, okay. So you would agree that none of the allegations in there support a claim related to defamation? None of the names that the plaintiff allegedly called the defendant could support a defamation claim? Ms. Ismailova, not in regards to her profession.
Okay, so wait. Okay, sorry. The judge said, okay. So would you agree that none of the allegation in there supports the claim of defamation? The allegations that she put forth in her complaint. None of the names that the plaintiff alleged called the defendant could support a defamation claim, what Olga wrote. And Olga responds, not in regards to her profession. But you are claiming the defamation in these actions based on her profession. Oh, you messed up, Olga, right there. You messed up.
Ismailova, not in regards to her profession. The court, all right. So what in paragraph 213 supports the assault claim? 1. 2. Ms. Ismailova, so she starts that video with, calling our client all sorts of names, and then she threatens to, sue her, make an example out of her. Then she starts talking about, in the same video, that she had been initiated into a gang at age 16.
Mm.
She said that she's going to make an example out of my client specifically, and so it all kind of builds on itself because then she publishes a private conversation that she, the plaintiff, had with Skiamo, privately. But she takes that, like a screenshot of it, and publishes it to her public social media profile.
So this is how Schemo actually got into this. Cardi B pulled Schemo into this by publishing something that Schemo sent to her. And this is where the threatening part starts, okay? Now we understand where Schemo came into this, because some people was thinking like he called Tasha K and whatever. But she actually brought this man into it. Listen. And Schemo was the person who jumped into the gang. I know it was something like that, and more information. So let's listen.
But she takes that, like a screenshot of it, and publishes it to her public social media profile. The court, and what was in that? MS Ismailova, it was like going back and forth. I can't believe she would say that, calling her all these sorts of names like, oh, yeah, I'm already gathering, info on her and using all kind of derogatory names, calling my client all sorts of different things.
Now, this is where, right there, I think she should have included that in the filing. Those actually referring to the screenshots that was uploaded on allegedly Cardi B page. Okay, this is what Olga is referring to, where she's talking about the conversation that allegedly Cardi B had with Schemo, talking about this whatever. And I guess Schemo fell away because he's her day one. I don't know what Schemo got to do with it, and why Cardi B husband wouldn't be talking at the time. But we just gonna shut up.
MS Ismailova, it was like going back and forth. I can't believe she would say that, calling her all these sorts of names like, oh, yeah, I'm already gathering, info on her and using all kind of derogatory names.
Wow.
Calling my client all sorts of different things. And then the court, so here's where I'm going, upon information and belief, where is that from? I mean, where does the defendant say she got this information? What information did she get about Skiamo and what threats he allegedly made? You're not really giving me anything. I mean, you're not telling me that he made these threats. You're saying you think he may have made some threats. But if you don't have any information, where are you going to get the information?
Oh, so she's saying, so the court is saying, okay, even if Cardi B posted the conversation, it still wasn't a direct threat to Tasha K. It was an indirect threat. Okay.
MS Ismailova, well, no, we do have I have the copies of the screenshots and copies of the videos of plaintiff the court. So what was the threat that Skiamo made? MS Ismailova, there were several posts. Some of them had where he posted, like, pictures of guns and, basically alluded to the fact that he was going to, come and handle my client if she keeps talking. And those posts the court, so did he, so let's be specific. Is there a picture of a gun saying I'm going to handle this or something like that? I mean MS. Ismailova, more or less.
She like, Olga like more or less. Girl, you're supposed to have some more proof. You're supposed to have a real proof. Like him saying something specifically. You know the level of evidence that it takes. This wasn't enough.
The court, let's do the more part. What specifically is
so let's do the
posts?
more part.
MS Ismailova, it's a picture of a gun, and I don't remember verbatim off the top of my head. I mean, like I said, we have the copies of them, but it's something like, I'm going to, basically if you keep talking about me.
I'm gonna, you know what? That's why the judge got tired of Olga, because Olga, is she talking like this? I'm getting aggravated hearing this shit. And I know, excuse me, the court reporter is like, what? She said, I mean, like I said, we have a copy of them, but it's like something like, I'm going to, basically like, if you keep talking about me, I'm going to get you, something to that effect. The fuck? Olga, you got to articulate yourself a little bit better in court. Shit.
But when he posted it, he didn't tag my client in the post.
No
But it
connection.
was so apparent to strangers on social media that he was referring to her.
Subliminal
that they began
threats.
tagging her on Instagram to alert her to the fact that this was being said. The court. So what made it apparent to other people that he was talking about the defendant? MS Ismailova, because all of this happened within days apart where the plaintiff kept posting videos on her Instagram account. They're called like live, so you basically just, turn your phone on, and as she's talking in real time, all of her fans can hear what she's saying. And so it's like she's talking about my client and, this potential litigation. He's then posting the court, so he's posting in relation to what she is saying. MS Ismailova, basically. And so it's kind of happening simultaneously almost, and so that's really what makes it apparent that they are talking about my client. Then, obviously, a little bit later on the plaintiff does specifically say that she talks about my client's age. She's a little bit older, but she was pregnant at that time. At the time all of this was going on the court, who is she? Your client? MS Ismailova, my client was the court. Be careful with pronouns, alright, so we know who you're talking about. MS
Whatever.
Ismailova, my apologies. Let's see.
What do you mean be careful with pronouns? I don't understand what just happened there, but basically she was saying that while Cardi B was posting stuff on her page, Schema was posting stuff on his page, which made it obvious that they were talking about Tasha K. Cardi B referred to Tasha K as the old blogger lady, so that's why people knew she was talking about her. Obviously, obviously Cardi B is like to run her mouth and be emotional, but the way she ran her mouth was smart because she kind of didn't really say Tasha K name and specifically say anything, so it wasn't a direct threat or directly connected. So you see how it's not applicable or actionable in court. But then if you go on to your live and be like, yeah, this B, Cardi B is this and said that, and this is that's actionable. But if you be like, there's rappers out there that like to be on stage, pregnant, busting it wide open, which is not acceptable for society. But hey, people want to do it. I love it. That's not actionable. You see why I say what I say and do what I do the way I do? Why we kind of like at least not getting strikes. If I probably be 2 or 3 of y'all watching this, but at least we ain't getting strikes no more. Okay. Yeah. Actionable or non-actionable content. Please know what you say, bloggers. It may be the end of your career. So let's go. But I didn't understand what he said. Be careful of your pronouns. I don't know. Everybody's women here, I think.
MS Ismailova, my apologies. Let's see. In paragraph 219 of our counterclaim, I do state that she was in her first trimester of a high-risk pregnancy because she was, like, a little bit older and that's during the whole time that this was all going on, this whole back and forth with the plaintiff and affiliates of plaintiff.
Oh, Lord.
My client was pregnant during that entire time, and the plaintiff knew that because she said She talked about it in her.
She tried to say that, well, Tasha K probably had a high risk pregnancy related to other stuff because I think she did have some other stuff going on, but she did try to say she was in a high risk pregnancy because she was an older lady. She should have brought up some other stuff if she's going to use that, but that just caught me off guard. Just because you older Black women, we strong. I mean, it do take you through some stuff. I'm not going to disregard that, but that was just funny. She's like, because she's an older lady, she's on the high risk side.
So if she's, posting these private conversations about, veiled threats to, come get my client and, basically retaliate for whatever, for forcing this interview, she's been placed on bed rest.
Now, I want to say this. You hear this? This is very important to me. Literally, all of this is because somebody did an interview, okay? Fine, point taken. But the interviewee is the person that actually said something, okay, about her encounters with Cardi B, about whatever. At the end of the day, all of this is based off of he said, she said. And as I mentioned in the earlier live, There's a lot of us living in our second childhood or never was able to grow up. Hence, all of this happened because somebody said something about me. When every day you watch the news, everybody's saying something about somebody. That's all I'm saying. This right here, literally all of the trial shit that we're going to read for the next couple of damn weeks, the 3 years that they went through, the hundreds of thousands of dollars that went to waste on both of their sides was because of a childish perspective. I just want to highlight that shit. But I'm going to stay here. I'm going to keep on talking. You know why I'm going to keep on talking? Where we at? We're about 40 minutes into it because the only reason why I'm doing this is because I need to play this for you. Here we go.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all. Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.
You see my face? I want to say thank you guys for being with me tonight. I actually enjoy reading this. You know, you see how I'm getting into it because they're going back and forth. So I don't only do this reading because I want to play my commercial for my business, but I ain't got no choice here. This is what we're doing. But I appreciate you guys. Let's go. Now you already heard what he said about you heard about Olga trying to make the judge sympathetic, like, hey, all of this was going on when my older client was pregnant and she felt threatened for her life. Let's keep going on to see what Olga got to say. But Olga coming out swinging. Them damn court cases that Miss Matz was throwing out, thought she was throwing them shits out, just throwing anything out, with you in the wrong house. At least Olga was like, get them out of here with the bullshit. Okay, that's what Olga said. Go ahead, Olga.
So she's, hosting these private conversations about, veiled threats to, come get my client and, basically retaliate for whatever, for forcing this interview. She's been placed on bed rest, She can't work. I mean, it was a lot of things going on. It got to the point where she had to break her lease and move to a different location
It's
because
ridiculous.
she was that concerned that, because the plaintiff she lives in New York, but her husband resides in Atlanta. So she's back and forth a lot.
Exactly. So that's another thing. You know, we had just showed the blogger in Atlanta that got shot up like she was a gangster. Yeah. We just showed that on Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. People really take this very seriously. People have mental illness. And I don't know what was that related to, but if I was Tasha K, I would feel a way too, especially to know that someone like Cardi B, a young girl who was a gang member, who was a gang member, and that's not a lie, was into a very sexually explicit life, very harsh, doesn't have a problem with fighting and coming to get people because she already had pending charge. So I will understand Tasha K feeling some type of way because literally an interview has catapulted into somebody threatening your life because they said you had an STD, allegedly. That's unacceptable. I told y'all in my last live, I've been called all types of names, all types of shit. You think somebody gonna move me to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars so they can stop talking about me and then they can't? They don't have to. Like, I can't stop them regardless. Still to this day, Tasha K still talking shit. I'm sorry, I just got to bring this up because it's kind of alarming to me just to really reiterate and go into the details of this shit. It's stupid. It really is. It really is.
So she's, hosting these private conversations about, veiled threats to, she
Shut
can't
up.
work. I mean, it was a lot of things going on. It got to the point where she had to break her lease and move to a different location because she was that concerned that, because the
You know, I say, I'm sorry. You know, I said, shut up. It's just annoying me because Miss Olga keeps saying, and like, you got to cut that out, Olga. You getting me aggravated, and I'm not even in the damn courtroom. That's why I said, shut up, guys, because she got to stop that. I know the judge was like, and I don't know.
The court. All right. So let's talk about the assault claim specifically. What does the defendant have to prove? What are the elements that she's got to prove under assault? MS Ismailova. Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to mention. The elements of the case that the plaintiff cited was actually a criminal case. It was the Johnson v. State. So that was a criminal standard for simple assault under the which is different than the tort of assault. So in Johnson v. State, it was the standard was that the person, the court.
Go ahead, Olga. Olga, like, let me punch at that right there. You're using the court case that's actually in the criminal proceedings that has nothing to do with this venue or this type of civil case. Go ahead, Olga. You was there quiet because you was writing that shit down. You was going to look at this like, this is right. Record this. Go ahead. That's why she was quiet, y'all. Shut my ass up. She was over there in the corner preparing.
Tort of assault. So in Johnson v. State, it was the standard was that the person, the court. Let's don't talk about the case that you say doesn't apply. That's MS. Ismailova. Well, that's the.
So yeah, the judge shut that down. He said, well, let's not talk about the case that doesn't apply. I don't know why would he say that, but she just wanted to put that out there, Judge. If you don't know, that doesn't apply. You went back and forth with your friend, who's actually a old prosecuting judge that worked for Cardi B. That's what she had said. Y'all going back and forth about a case that had nothing to do with what the hell going on today. Go ahead, Olga, punch them both in the damn face.
Tort of assault. So in Johnson v. State, it was
he gonna cut her off.
The person, the court. Let's don't talk about the case that you say doesn't apply.
Cut her off.
MS. Ismailova. Well, that's the standard that the plaintiff cited for the elements of the tort of assault. The court. Yeah, but you say that doesn't you were going down the road that doesn't control here. So what do you contend are the elements that you have to prove on behalf of your client? MS Ismailova. I believe that those elements are stated in Everett v. Goodlow, and basically the definition is, an assault occurs when all the apparent circumstances reasonably viewed are subject to lead a person to reasonably apprehend a violent injury from the unlawful act of another. So it doesn't have to be an immediate violent injury, but it's got to be the apprehension is what makes the cause of action for a tort of assault. So it's the apprehension of the person who's receiving the, potential violent threats. And I do list in the counterclaims all the ways in which my client, was apprehensive for her safety, for her well-being. And paragraph 208.
So basically what she was saying is that according to civil actions, you don't have to physically be injured to have an apprehension of violence. And because Tasha K felt like it was apprehensive or a possibility of violence, this is why she did what she did, had to do certain things because of not perceived, but like a perceived threat, knowing that Cardi B had connections to Atlanta as well as gang connections. The gang connections, I'm gonna say allegedly, because she's gonna try to wipe that out her damn history like she never was part of that. She gonna make y'all all forget. I ain't gonna never forget.
And paragraph 218 talks about, her contacting the FBI even to report the situation and asking.
Wow.
Seeking advice as to what they believe is, the best, the safest route.
Whoa, Tasha K wasn't playing. Go ahead, fuck around. She said she contacted the FBI on that ass. Go ahead, Cardi B. Think that you over there got problems now. Once you got the feds watching you, they watching your ass. They been watching you. They could go use you for one of them racketeering cases to come testify. They like, bitch, you owe us one. Yeah, allegedly. Ain't nothing around that's true. That's just all in my imagination. It's not my opinion. It's just an imaginary story. Okay.
And their advice was to, change her home address, move from where you live currently to a different location, which is what she did immediately after that because she, like I said, was pregnant. Wow. She's also married. She has another child. She was worried about the safety and well-being of her family and herself.
It's ridiculous.
And so I believe that is those actions fall directly in the definition of with the tort of assault under Georgia law, which is different than the definition of the crime of simple assault, which adds that extra element of imminent violent injury. And regarding the elements of the other elements of the assault, in paragraph 202 specifically we do state that the plaintiff is part of the Bloods, which is a notorious violent street gang.
See?
She was initiated by her friend Sciamo, who's a fellow gang member.
In the court records.
So where does that information and belief come from? Ms. Ismailova, numerous videos the plaintiff has posted. She has given exclusive interviews to numerous newspapers and magazines, so it's a well-known fact it's not the court. What about Sciamo?
Look. So look, when she's saying that about the facts of the gang thing, the court like, okay, move forward. Yeah.
Ms. Ismailova, numerous videos the plaintiff has posted. She has given exclusive interviews to numerous newspapers and magazines, so it's a well-known fact it's not the court.
Now, my thing, this is the same court, the judge who said, I admire what you do. You remember that shit? Do y'all remember? Okay, he asks, what about schema? Where does the information come from?
Ms. Ismailova, from the plaintiff.
From herself. That's
the
Cardi.
Court. She says she was initiated by him. Ms. Ismailova, yes, Your Honor. The court, and she says that he's a gang member. Ms. Ismailova, yes, and she even has a video where she basically drives to the alleged place of her initiation, and she's driving in the video. She's, like, doing, like a narrative, of when I was 16, like, this was where we were, like that sort of thing. So it's all from her own mouth all the time. She admits to being a gang member.
Yes.
And she's always talking about Sciamo. I would say in at least 75% of her videos somehow, he gets mentioned one way or, one way or another. And, apparently, they've been friends since she was, like, 16 or 14, so for over 10 years at this point. The court, let's jump back, if we can, to the paragraph 211. Now, your claim is that where it talks about stating that Ms. Kibi makes up fake stories was general. What specifically is the evidence that you have to support that part of the allegation?
All right, so it seems like the judge went right back to the first claim. He just stopped talking about Schemo being a gang member and all the Cardi B history. About 75% of her videos claiming that she a gang member. Schemo got her into it and all of the other. He just said, okay, let's go back to the other one. This is the same judge that said, I admire you. I admire you. Baby, let's move forward.
Ms. Ismailova, as far as that the plaintiff has said that? The court.
Hold on, wait. Let's go back to the court.
The court. Let's jump back, if we can, to the paragraph 211. Now, your claim is that where it talks about stating that Ms. Kibi makes up fake stories was general. What specifically is the evidence that you have to support that part of the allegation? Ms. Ismailova, as far as that the plaintiff has said that? The court. Yeah. What did the plaintiff say that was general as opposed to about what the defendant had said about her being the plaintiff? Ms. Ismailova, I mean, there's been the plaintiff posts these videos, and they're like 45 minutes long, an hour long. So she just goes on and rants all the time, and she just, just talks. She'll go in and out of talking about my client, then talking about, her career, whatever the case may be. But she just says that, like, my client doesn't have any credible sources, she's always lying, she's just trying to, why can't people leave her, leave her alone, why is everyone, always trying to, write stories that are fake, all this.
But my thing is that right here, that's just ridiculous because it's actually based on an interview. And then Tasha K took the information from the interview and became malicious with it. But the information was from an interview from former associate of Cardi B. Do anybody remember that? So I don't know why people were changing the stories of like, oh, Tasha K made up all this fake stuff about Cardi B. It was the damn interview. What the fuck? Y'all got selective memory. Okay? It was an interview. This Tasha K went on a rampage with the information and just kept banging her. And that was the problem.
All this stuff. The court. How about the plaintiff? MS Ismailova, she sometimes says about herself. Sometimes it's almost like she's posing, rhetorical questions through the video. The court. Now, earlier you agreed with me that you essentially agreed with MS. Matt's that the statements have got to be general as opposed to Cardi B about Cardi B. So you're telling me that then you're not going to be able to handle it before a jury just by generally characterizing it? I mean, you've got to if that's the standard, as MS. Matz has argued, then you've got to specifically be able to show that it would be one reasonable interpretation of what the plaintiff is saying, is that the defendant generally is a liar. The defendant generally makes up her stories, generally.
The judge went back to this damn thing. He ain't going. I want to see what he judged on the schemo thing, because he sure enough just jumped off of that. He right back to this defamation thing. We already went over this.
Has no sources to any of the things that she writes as a...
Oh, don't worry, guys. We got like 10 more pages on this filing, and we will be done with this video, and we'll be kind of figuring out what we're going to be talking about the next video. And before we get off tonight, I actually want to make a little reaction video to something that Tasha K said on her back channel today. I think it was yesterday, about the court case and some of the things that she actually learned. As I told you guys, this was a really, really how can I say, a moment of a lifetime for her. And she learned. I don't think Cardi B learned at all. I think Cardi B is just as toxic as she was before. And yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Has no sources to any of the things that she writes as opposed to about Cardi B. And your statement today is that's what could be interpreted from these videos.
What the fuck?
MS Ismailova, yes, Your Honor. I mean, it might sound unbelievable to you, but she has posted so many videos about my client and so many, tweets and other it's the court, but you also are going to have to you're a lawyer arguing it right now, but let's say we're at the motion for summary judgment stage. You're going to have to show that to me. MS Ismailova, yes, sir. The court, you're going to be able to show that to me? MS Ismailova, we've preserved as many of the videos as we were able to preserve that she gets on all the time, so it's yes, we have the court, and these videos are still posted? MS Ismailova, no. What happens is for the way that Instagram Live works is you can post a live video. It is up for 24 hours, and then it gets deleted automatically or the person could choose to delete it, earlier than the 24-hour expiration. The court, so you have been able to capture some of these? MS Ismailova.
Now you could hold on. You could go on Instagram and save your videos. So I don't know about that because I save my videos on Instagram. But you could get them, they could get off your page. But I don't know about that. But I'm glad she caught some of them damn videos. Let's move on to court. Let's go.
It has to be extreme or outrageous, and there has to be a causal connection. So I guess that just assumes a lot of things about what the court, it does away with the causal connection. It does away with the intentional thing.
Hold on.
1, 2, 3, 4,
hold
5,
on,
6,
y'all.
7,
Hold
8,
on.
9,
Hold
10,
on.
11, 12, 13, 14.
Hold. Wait, we missed something. Oh. Wait a minute. We're on page 24. We talked about schemo. Okay, hold on, because I see Miss Matz up here. Hold on. Oh, okay. I was about to say, you know what? It went all the way back up. Baby, we're all the way on page 40 something. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sorry, guys. The thing went up on me. Okay. Just the one statement. We on 41. I think. Or 51. We're a little far. The thing jumped up on me, guys. Do you agree that it is the plaintiff is saying lying about? Okay, we know about that. The court is the defendant asking for special damages. Oh, okay, we're on 51. Dad, we went through this, guys. We're on 51. The thing is up to 63. We almost through this. Okay, so as you know, posting these private conversations about you, threats. Okay. You know, I'm gonna end up knowing this court case about it in and out. Now we already got into the fact that the judge kind of just when she started talking about the gang life and schemo and she's like, how do you know? Like she posted all the time. Yeah, he just went over that and then he went right back into yeah. So can you prove actual defamation? Okay. You also are going to have to, I mean, lawyers argue. Okay, here we go.
MS Ismailova, yes, Your Honor. I mean, it might sound
Okay, we did this.
unbelievable to you, but she has posted so many videos
There we
about
go.
my client and so many, like, tweets and other. It's the court, but you also are going to have to, I mean, you're a lawyer arguing it right now, but let's say we were at the motion for summary judgment stage. You're going to have to show that to me. MS Ismailova, yes, sir. The court, you're going to be able to show that to me? MS Ismailova, we preserved as many of the videos as we were able to preserve that she gets on all the time, so it's but, I mean, yes, we have the court, and these videos are still posted? MS.
Okay, there we go.
Ismailova, no. What happens is for the way that Instagram Live works is you can post a live video. It is up for 24 hours, and then it gets deleted automatically or the person could choose to delete it, you know, earlier than the 24-hour expiration. The court, so you have been able to capture some of these? MS Ismailova, anytime we were able to capture it, we have preserved that evidence. And, also, sometimes other, you know, bloggers or people on YouTube that are able to capture it and then they, you know, post it on their YouTube channels, or whatever, and people preserve those posts.
That's not going to work.
The court, but those are just copies that they made from YouTube.
See, right there. That's where she lost the judge. She like, that is not firsthand evidence. Don't even think you about to come in here with somebody else's video. And I will hope Olga didn't think preserving other YouTubers' videos was actually going to be submissible in court. She had to have the original evidence. Just like we talked about in a YSL case. Why did they have a specialist or like a communication specialist, a person that tracks phone lines? Because they wanted to make sure that the prosecution wasn't just bringing any type of evidence in there. If you're going to bring phone records and shit, it better go exactly to that first person phone, IP, where they was at. Because if there's anything missing, then that's not submissible. The judge was like, oh, could you prove it?
The court, but those are just copies that they made from YouTube from the original posting.
Not good.
MS Ismailova, from the original. But if we were not able to, you know, if we were not able to catch that particular post and someone else was, we've preserved that particular, you know, those videos as well. The court, all right. Anything you want to argue that you haven't had a chance to?
He said that ain't gonna work.
MS Ismailova, may I have a moment? The court, yes, ma'am. MS Ismailova, just briefly in closing, our position, you know, we believe that we have met the standard set for our motion to dismiss based on, you know, the federal rules and Georgia substantive law. But we would ask the court, if the court does not agree with us, we would ask for leave to amend the counterclaims to make them abide by the standard because I will be able to make them more specific if the court wants me to do that.
No, she's like, wait a minute. We closing off the argument, but judge, give me a second. Give me a chance. If you think that the filings is not up to par because that's what y'all trying to argue, I can come and make them specific for you. Olga trying to fix her damn mistake. There they go. She admitting it. She like, I could fix it.
But we would ask the court, if the court does not agree with us, we would ask for leave to amend the counterclaims to make them abide by the standard because I will be able to make them more specific if the court wants me to do that. The court, thank you, ma'am. All right. Ms. Matz, do you have anything else you 1, 2, 3 want to say? MS Matz, yes, if your honor would just give me a moment. MS Matz, so I do just want to go back.
So Miss Matz right here is actually Cardi B lawyer, okay? She's back in the game.
MS Matz, so I do just want to go back to this idea about the general versus specific statement and address a couple of the points that counsel for defendant just made. And that is that they made much of their allegations leading up to these videos. To talk about how this is how they knew that they were talking that my client, I won't use pronouns, this is how Miss Kibi knew my client was talking about her or allegedly talking about her. I think that those same statements give the context, as with the rest of the alleged statements she's made, to show that those statements were clearly, to the extent my client made them, they were clearly about her interaction with my client, the specific instance as opposed to the general. And I just want to point your honor to the opposing counsel is correct in one thing, that some of the cases we cited were summary judgment, that some of the case law out there is at that procedural posture.
Yeah, gonna be honest that you were just throwing shit out there, huh? She's just trying to like make her last arguments like you're gonna hear. Because it's good when you have an argument, it's good to get the last word. So she's like, yeah, I got one more thing to say. Okay. Let me just clarify this. First and foremost, context of what she was saying is unclear again. And as I said, specifically, my client was making those statements specifically to the situation, not generally. Secondly, we know that we lied. We know that we gave you some summary judgment cases as well as procedure cases. But there goes the but.
But in those cases, the courts were making legal determinations, which are the same determinations you are allowed to make on a motion to dismiss because there were no disputed facts. Here it's just making them on what's been alleged. And I will say we have cited cases also that dismissed defamation and slander claims where the court interpreted the context on a motion to dismiss in addressing these same types of questions. So, for example, the Long v. Madison case, they decided the context of allegedly defamatory statements on a motion to dismiss, dismissing the case. And, the only other thing that I will just add is that I am unsure why there was not some of these facts were not offered in opposition because I do believe that to the extent that they believe that they can amend their complaint.
Oh, okay. So that's what she said. I don't understand why the people didn't put this up. Well, she's saying basically she don't understand why, while she was saying the stuff, while she was saying it in front of the judge, why Olga didn't say, object. This is exactly what I was saying. Like, why the fuck she ain't saying object? I think she said that is because as she's trying to put out there, like, because they know they messed up. So since we messed up, that's going to maybe make the court lenient to allow them to amend their complaint. Okay, she just throwing that out there, like, no freebies for you.
And, the only other thing that I will just add is that I am unsure why there was not some of these facts were not offered in opposition because I do believe that to the extent that they believe that they can amend their complaint, given the fact that they are past the time to do so, I know that the standard is liberal and does say we let people amend their complaints liberally. But they still need to request leave to do so, and they would need to show good cause why these things couldn't have been alleged in the first place, which it's a little unclear to me if they believe that they,
She's trying to stop us. She like, but you're not amending nothing. No. Unless you got a real reason why you should amend, judge, don't even think about it.
Have all these standards and they're so specific they're unable to name even one of them sitting here today. And then the only other thing I'll add is that I do think, also in terms of the context, that, the court shouldn't accept them clearly paraphrasing, not quoting, and then them saying, well, we should be allowed to just paraphrase. But then they want to try to characterize those statements in a specific way to say, well, that was what was said when it's not clear at all that that's what was said.
So basically what she's calling out is her actual, as I say, fouling. And she said, you ain't about to be sitting here trying to fix it. You ain't about to sit here and try to fix it today.
There's no quoted statement in here whatsoever. And I think that the context of the statements they've alleged together clearly shows that any statement my client was making about an opinion about MS Kibi was with reference to the specific incident in this video that had been aired about my client and not her broader reputation generally. The court, all right. Thank you. MS Mats, thank you, Your Honor. The court, all right. So of course I come to this job from having been a state trial judge before, not immediately before I came here, but for a good bit of time. And so I understand the Twombly standard, but sometimes the Twombly standard is difficult to apply on the ground. But you go with the case which Twombly was decided by the Supreme Court, and oftentimes just like in the Daubert cases, things like that, these are very scientifically, usually very scientific cases where we're dealing with concrete issues.
Let's just pause here. What's about to happen is the judge is going to either dismiss this case, dismiss the motion, or keep it. Let's see.
And in a case like this, there's really no science involved at all where we're talking about, general society
They like that word.
and, we're applying state law, for example, in an area that is kind of like defining virtue. Slander is kind of like that, It's hard to define. I mean, there is a definition for it, but it's the kind of thing that you know when you see, like whether someone is virtuous or not virtuous. If this was the defendant suing the plaintiff and that's all we had, I would probably dismiss the case today. It would be without prejudice. But given that the plaintiff has brought this lawsuit and that these issues that will be involved in discovery are almost exactly the same issues that are brought up in the defendant in counterclaim, I'm not going to dismiss at this point in time, but I will tell the defendant this. That if this is the best I get on a motion for summary judgment, the defense is going to lose. There's got to be specificity.
Ooh. Did you hear what the judge said? Oh, he's so disrespectful. He said, let me just let you know, I'm not going to dismiss this right now because some of the claims basically you brought in this general counterclaim may be brought up in the case. So let me let you know something now. If this is the best that I get on a motion for summary judgment, this is a repeat, the defense is going to lose. There's got to be specificity. Okay? I said that wrong with my ass, but you know what I'm talking about. I would have been up Piss Street when I heard that, if they said that to my damn lawyer. Tasha K, right there, you should have just walked away. I know it wasn't easy, but right there, I would have said, wait a minute. We got to do something. This is the beginning of the case. This just filing shit wrong. The judge is saying crazy stuff. Let's go.
And, even if I dismiss the defendant's claims today, I would let the defendant do discovery about it in the course of this case because it is all congruent with the allegations that are made by the plaintiff. The plaintiff says, that blogger lied about me. Well, then the plaintiff coming back and saying that could very well be libelous if it's not true and plaintiff knows it's not true. So there's really no extra there. If the plaintiff did scheme with schemo to cause a threat to be made directly or indirectly against the defendant in order to induce the defendant to retract or to stop what she was doing, that may be actionable. It might not be assault. I'm not sure. I'm more familiar not with the tort of assault, but with the crime of assault, and then the crime of assault does require the immediacy to the act.
So, but that's what he said. He said he's not sure right now. He had to do some research. Even the judge got to do research. He said, I'm sure I know about assault in criminal cases, not in civil cases. And that's what Helga was bringing up. The case that Miss Motz brought up was actually a criminal case, not a civil case. And she said it doesn't apply here.
I will say this, if a defendant in a jail posted something online and defendants do have access to phones in jail, sometimes that made some of the same generalized threats towards me, I'd be concerned about it, and I would have the U.S. Marshals and the FBI all over it. So I can understand that if there were such threats that were made as have been outlined in argument, not necessarily in pleadings, that it could cause the defendant some harm. Whether it be assault or not, I'm not sure. I think probably intentional infliction of emotional distress is probably a better claim for that if it's true that it happened, if the plaintiff did induce the defendant to do those types.
So basically she's saying, he's telling her right now, Olga, change the damn the assault, okay? It's not assault. It's intentional infliction of emotional distress would be probably better. So what the foulings that Olga was doing wasn't correct for the situation as well. Not just actually the motion she was putting for, the allegations of what is the issue. Okay, and the judge trying to help her right now. You got time to fix this, Olga.
Whether it be assault or not, I'm not sure. I think probably intentional infliction of emotional distress is probably a better claim for that if it's true that it happened, if the plaintiff did induce the defendant to do those types of things. If defendant induced the defendant to do those types of things, excuse me. If the plaintiff induced Skiemo to do those types of things towards the defendant, plaintiff might be a party to a crime in this state. And if she is a party to a crime to this state, then that raises the specter of a potential tort all the more. But I'm not saying any of that happened. I really don't know.
See, right there, Olga should have been like, okay, we're going to figure out how we're going to prove that she kind of enticed Schemo to do this, because it's just against the law. The judge is even telling you, if you can prove that Cardi B actually enticed Schemo to do this, that you, in the state of Georgia, if I tell you to go beat up that girl and you beat her up and something happened, I'm going to jail too. That's in Georgia. Don't matter if you think that you just going to be like calling shots. They could get your ass. Okay, and that's what she was saying. If they could prove Cardi B enticed that man to do something or say stuff towards Tasha K, then it would have been able to stand. It's all about evidence. But here go the judge. He said,
but I'm not saying any of that happened.
Like, it just,
I really
if
don't
it did.
know. Honestly, let me just say I understand why the defendant wants the cases to go away. I understand why the defendant has brought the case that she brought. A lot of this is just litigation leverage, The defendant perhaps brought all these claims for litigation leverage. The plaintiff wants them to go away, and even though they're arguing in the discovery about them all, for litigation leverage. I don't think that's necessary at this point in time for me to rule on that. All of this could go away if y'all wanted it to go away.
Here we go.
This would be a very interesting trial for a jury. I tried a 2.5 to 3 week jury trial about a month ago on SEC insider trading. That was not very interesting for the jury. You bring Cardi B in here. The allegation.
Wait a minute. This is the fucking judge. Excuse my language. Did the judge say, well, this is going to be a very interesting case compared to the last case I did 2 weeks ago about trader scamming? I think the jury will have some fun with this. Do you hear this? This shit is unprofessional. I don't care. I don't like this shit right here. This is the bullshit. You supposed to act like you don't know her. You supposed to act like you don't know Cardi B. The jury's supposed to act like they don't know her. What the hell is this? I got to say this is suspect.
All of this could go away if y'all wanted it to go away. This would be a very interesting trial for a jury. I tried a 2.5 to 3 week jury trial about a month ago on SEC insider trading. That was not very interesting for the jury. You bring Cardi B in here, the allegations that are made, the jury would have a ball, But I do believe that the parties could settle this case if they want to. If they don't want to, that's fine. Trying cases is the most fun thing I do because I don't have to work at night, I get to walk in on Monday morning and get started, and I leave at 5:30, 6 o'clock.
The fuck?
I drive home and watch sports and the news while y'all get to go to work. When I interviewed to be a judge the first time with the governor of Georgia, he asked me why I wanted to be a judge, and I told him, all the right Sunday school answers about public service and all that kind of stuff, which was all true. But I also said I was tired of working on weekends and nights getting ready for court the next day. I understand how hard it is to try a case from the standpoint of being a lawyer because you have so many balls up in the air. But, if this case were to go to trial, I think we'd all have a little bit of fun with it. But I'd prefer if you could settle it, if you could, but if not, then we'll deal with it.
Wow. How the fuck he says this, yo? I'm sorry. How the judge say this? This is some Georgia shit. The judge can say whatever he wants to. We can't say this type of stuff. He said, we're going to have fun with this case. We got Cardi B in our court. Oh, my God. They should have asked for a mistrial. The judge is biased. Something is not right here. The fuck is going on? This is just my opinion. What? I would have been like, no. The ethical board, something's not right. Did he just say that? Did he just say it? It's fun? This is going to be fun? Because Cardi B in the court case? Right. Unethical. Even if she don't bring anything up against the like, bring this case back up. Tasha K, please write a letter to the ethical board. Just yourself. of what you felt, what you went through with the judge, what he said. Pull some of this shit up. The judge is out of pocket too. I mean, I like the arguing back and forth about the cases, and I love that. This right here, all right, we got 3 more pages. I'm getting stuck. I feel some type of way. Yeah, I know I feel some type of way about injustice. This is shady.
The defendant has got to do much better job with her counterclaims and the motion for summary judgment, or she's probably going to lose them all.
Here you go.
Given the way that
he telling you, oh, I didn't know judges will say this. I didn't know judges will say this. But this judge is literally saying it. He's talking about Tasha K and her lawyers. The defendant has got to do much better job with her counterclaims and the motion for summary judgment, or she's probably going to lose all of them. But given the way that the case is styled, given that we're not talking about independent claims, those are all really derivatives of the same thing. I'm going to leave that for now. Basically, they're saying he said, she said about the same content. Their story is going to intertwine it, and the discovery is going to pull everything up. That's what he's saying. Oh my God.
Now, y'all need to go ahead and confer. I doubt you have already on a scheduling order, right? No scheduling order has been entered? Or have you? MS Ismailova, it has, Your Honor. The court, how many months discovery did you request? MS Mats, I believe that we asked for 8, Your Honor, and some of that was because we do think the discovery, the counterclaims you're saying, as Your Honor is saying, I do think the discovery on this has the potential to kind of spider out. There's a lot of third-party stuff going on. We have people in different states traveling, and, also, I realize it's a little longer than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Sorry.
Probably we normally ask for, but our client does have a more complicated schedule than some people. And, also, I think we did have a 26 conference. We tried to talk about some informal discovery. Thus far that has not been forthcoming, so I would like to leave enough time to deal with those things if they continue to be problematic. The court, well, you're not necessarily longer than I thought. I don't have a problem with the only time I start getting itchy is when we start approaching the latter half of the second year of an aging case. We have a rule that y'all may be familiar with in federal courts where we get basically reported when we have a case that's more than 3 years old and we have motions that are more than 6 months old. So other than that, I don't really care. But here's where I do get aggravated generally, is when you don't work diligently along the way, and then you ask me for extension after extension after extension. Got a case right now on my desk where an old law school friend has put me in a situation where I've granted 4 or 5 extensions, and now they want more. And I'm not going to give them another one. So you've got to be diligent. I understand the plaintiff's scheduling is not typical, so I think y'all probably just need to go ahead and agree soon in this process when her deposition is going to be, assuming there's going to be one. And I suppose that you may fight about where it should be. Probably ought to be here in Atlanta. I mean, she filed her lawsuit here in Atlanta. She's got connections to Atlanta. I think that's if y'all start fighting about that, that's probably where I'm going to come down on that, is that given that she's come to this forum, she's going to have to come to this forum for purposes of deposition as well. MS Mats, we haven't even discussed it. As for plaintiff, we have propounded our initial discovery demands. We actually did that late last week because we wanted to start getting the ball rolling, but we will pursue discovery diligently. I appreciate you saying that. And, we can talk about deposition location. I'm sure that we can work something out. The court, okay. All right. Good luck to you.
Okay, y'all, that was the end. Reporter certification. Let's see what else. Yeah. So yeah, this was October 7th, 2019 motion hearing, okay? And this was the summary. Now, it was not dismissed by the judge at that time, as you can see. Basically, the judge said, hey, Missy, if you don't get it together and if you don't start filing your claims correctly, what's going to end up happening is that y'all going to lose the case. Now, he's saying that because of what he's seeing actually being filed by Helga. Okay. The next one that I have, I think the next one that I pulled up, I'm going to see what transcripts I pulled up. I'm just pulling them up there for y'all so y'all can see it. Our next set of transcripts is 11/24/2021. And I'm going to go into it a little bit of what it is, and then I'm going to give y'all an update. But also, we're going to start looking at the evidence, okay? We're going to start looking at the evidence. We're going to see what they're starting to pull in. So the next part of this trial is actually the disposition and this discovery. I'm going to read the disposition to see if there's anything entertaining for you guys to see, but we are going to start pulling the discovery. The discovery will have Miss Cardi B health records. Now, I will not be sharing personal information as far as address, location, and those type of things, but I'll try to get into the information as much as possible so I don't violate HIPAA. She's not my patient, but I do respect healthcare because I am a nurse. So I will let y'all know that I will be getting into some of the evidence, some of the things as far as discovery. Now, I did want to actually share. I actually wanted to share some of.
This bitch is talking about, oh, look at your this and that.
Hold on, this is my favorite song, y'all. I want to. I actually want to share some part of a live that Tasha K did today. Well, yesterday, actually, in regards to some of her feelings about this case. We're going to continue to still talk about it, but I do want to put my favorite song on the damn. This should be hitting the motherfucking charts right here. Okay? This right here, this should be hitting the charts, and this is the shit. Okay?
Be protected all the time. And for you to try to do that shit, over this billionaire shit, trying to be fucking funny. You trying to be out here funny, something trying to just bankrupt. Bitch, you ain't gonna pay. You're gonna pay. Yeah, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. Yeah, you're gonna pay. Got me doing excellent. Got me doing excellent. Got me doing excellent, bitch. Got me doing excellent. Got me doing excellent. Got me doing excellent, bitch. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. Yeah, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. Yeah, you're going to jail.
Jail!
You're going to jail.
All right, we're about to get into one more part before we close off tonight. But before we do that, you're going to get a word from our sponsors. Here we go.
Would you like to learn a brand new and innovative way to invest your extra money that has a low barrier to entry and low competition? What if I told you that it is a guaranteed method to get up to 18 to 20% return on your investment? Tax lien and deed purchasing is the only way to get into the real estate market through the back door. No credit and no loans needed. This method isn't commonly taught, and therefore the competition is very low, for now. Put together a 14-hour info-packed course which will teach you everything you'll need to know to get started. Learn at your own pace, step-by-step guided video and aids to start you on the TLC deed investment process. The course offers many learning tools for new investors, helping ensure you safely invest in tax liens and deeds. Contact us today and join the buyback team.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Hey, you're going to jail. That's my favorite song. That's the new song for the motherfucking century. Okay. Well, I just want to hear a little bit of what Tasha K got to say actually about her learning experience. I want to continue to share that people do learn and grow from fucked up shit like this. Okay. And I gotta send respect to this lady, because at the end of the day, no matter how much we talk about it, gossip about it, this person is going through it. And I have to respect her stance. If y'all have not seen this, please watch it, because she talks about her life, some of the things that she has went through, being broke, coming up, things like that. And a lot of people act like they so up. They always up. I'm up and I'm stuck. You know, you fucking not, because you're going to be going down soon too. So let's listen to what Tasha K got to say. Give you a little reaction behind it.
A phone call saying, Mom, I need some money, or I need this, I need that. I've never done that. I've always worked
Right.
out what needed to be worked out. If it means cutting back, if it means, whatever I got to do to make it work, that's what I do. So, and it makes me such a better person because you have to live realistically. I see it amongst these celebrities all the time. They get all this money, they buy everything, just buy fucking everything. And then one day money is going to go. Everybody goes broke and then you get it again. Like, it's just the nature of it. But a lot of them don't know how to go broke and how to go broke publicly. Bitch, I went broke publicly right before your eyes.
It
Like, I was
what
like,
it is.
that's a new one. Okay. But guess what? Can't nothing really humiliate me. Like, I mean, yes, it's humiliating, but I'm saying, but if I could get through that, bitch, what else you got?
That's right.
What else you got? No. Y'all not donating a motherfucking thing. Okay? You gonna keep your money, as I said, and stop fucking asking. How you gonna donate to the rich? How you gonna donate to the rich? Make that make sense. How are you gonna donate to the rich? And there's people out here that are truly homeless.
Lightning outside, y'all.
Like
I
was laughing at her when she was like, "I'm gonna take your money and I'm gonna give it to the homeless single mothers." I'm like, "Girl, you got that from me, child. You ain't giving nobody. Now you gonna keep that money."
She knows she is.
That's why you on the road now with them kids traveling with you, and your mama won't watch them. You ain't got no traveling nanny. I can understand.
Basically,
right? You don't want nobody watching your kids.
Cardi B turning into single mothership. Welcome to the club, dog. You thought you was motherfucking special, huh? You done got you a black man. They ain't always what they cracked up to be. I'm just all I'm saying.
Kids. But to not have a traveling nanny to go with you everywhere, if you got to take your kids to go and they up past bedtime while you on live, that will never happen. If there was money, there would be a traveling nanny. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Money is funny right now on both sides, me and hers. It doesn't matter. As a 41-year-old woman, it's just certain things you can see. Kids have to adhere to a certain schedule. You do not interrupt that schedule, regardless if you have a babysitter or not. If you don't have a babysitter, you stay at the house with them fucking kids. You don't bring them out in the middle of the night to go shoot no video, to go hop on no planes, to go do none of that because your mama said she can't watch the kids and all stay in LA. You make a sacrifice and you stay your ass at home. That's what.
Tell her what to do, Auntie, because she sure enough don't know what to do out here chasing shit. Don't talk about me. You're embezzling. Sit your ass down at home and get your life together, young lady.
Being old and washed means.
Come on. The rain coming down. Get to it, girl.
Can't go live. But my kids ain't finna be out late at night while I'm on live arguing with viewers. That mama won't watch the kids. I gotta shoot a video. I gotta take them to the studio with me. No. The kids come first. You're second. That's life. That's what we women will always do. Raise babies and die alone.
Whoa, right there. I'm just going to have to take that off the screen right now. I want to do a full reaction to that, but I can't because lightning is coming down. I don't know what the hell going on around here. Hold on. But what I will say, as we closing off, we're going to have to play this shit one more time.
You talk about, oh, wasn't your business and that? Yeah, bitch, I'm gonna be protected all the time. And for you to try to do that shit, this billionaire shit trying to be fucking funny. You trying to be out here funny, some trying to bankrupt. Bitch, do it. You're gonna pay. Yeah, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. Yeah, you're gonna pay. Yeah, bitch, you is excellent. Yeah, bitch, you is excellent. Yeah, bitch, you is excellent, bitch. Yeah, bitch, you is excellent. Yeah, bitch, you is excellent. Yeah, bitch, you is excellent, bitch.
I love you guys. Have a great, 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 great night. Thank you for being here for Grizzly Vibe. We gotta go.
Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be. The world awaits to receive you.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful.